So you guys, the rail grade's right there. And what I'm checking today is there's washes like this next to the railroad tracks. Bria's over on the other side and she's walking the same direction I am. I just wanted to start over here, and I'm actually going to walk that way, probably about a half a mile, then cross over and walk the ditch back. And so like we said, we don't think any big great effort was put into this. As far as Brenner goes, we don't believe that he dug a hole by hand. And we're going to walk these little washes and stuff that are right off the hard surfaces. We talked about this in one of my prior videos. So anything with a hard surface that leads to little washes, big washes, ravines, mines, where you can drive right to them, especially the ones that have vertical shafts. No, I don't believe that Brenner would hike down one of those shafts, but I definitely think he would dump remains down the shaft and then start throwing rocks and debris to cover it up. And we will definitely be doing shafts like that, and if I find them, I will call my good buddy Les Nuttall, and he'll get a hold of his brother and Alan from Mountain Fortress, and they've been going down those mine shafts, you guys, since they were teenagers, and I wholeheartedly like those guys. They're a good group of dudes. So when we find new vertical shafts that we haven't been to before, I will call them. I'm not going to attempt going down them myself by any standards. I don't go into those things. And you guys, I'm, like I said, not very far from the railroad tracks at all. There's a hard surface right on the other side of that. And I drove here today, you guys. All the places that I go to, I go in two-wheel drive. The only exception to that was there has been one time up in the mining district with this new truck that I'm running, where I went up Rock Canyon to take a shortcut instead of going in two-wheel drive all the ways I went in Bria's truck that burned down. So to take a shortcut to get to the same area, I locked it in four-wheel drive and we went up Rock Canyon. But see what I mean, you guys, about sagebrush piles like this and all it would take. This is something like this to hide remains, and this is what I'm looking for right now. I'm thinking it could be something as easy as we just missed it because of something like that, and that's everywhere around here, you guys. That what I just showed you, not uncommon at all, everywhere. And that's why we're going to walk these ditches next to the railroad tracks And there's plenty of piles of the sagebrush in there and tumbleweeds. I have to listen to what a good friend has been telling us, and that is somewhere close probably where they can keep an eye. There's an old badger hole. See all the sagebrush down there, but I clearly see nothing. Yeah, there's nothing under that. Come on. Let's get away from Mr. Badger's hole. I don't want to introduce you to him on the leash at all. We had this bulldog, you guys. His name was Ogre. His real name was D.O.G., but we called him Ogre because, boy, look at the size of that one there. That's a big badger hole, too. We called him Ogre because he had one eyeball that was a little bit googly. And people say, oh, badgers whoop a dog's ass. I'm telling you, not that dog. That dog was a badger killing machine. He didn't mess with them. He didn't do this in and out boxing jab stuff. He would see the animal, go right at it, grab it on the back, and it didn't matter where on the back. And one bite, done. He was about a 120-pound Georgia Hoya bulldog. So an American bull, not a pit bull, but this is a bigger dog. Built a lot and look a lot like pit bull, but you know, like the Georgia Bulldogs football team, he was that kind of dog. And old Ogre, he was a machine when it came to varmints and stuff. And he stayed at the homestead for quite some time out on Pilot. And one time we came back from a trip to Windover to get groceries and stuff, so we were probably gone 6 hours getting supplies, and the kids were teenagers back then. And we came back and saw where he had fought probably a juvenile cat, big cat, mountain lion. And when I found him, he was still alive. His ribs were peeled back, and there was no saving him. And you're not going to do the Harper, huh? You're not coming through it with me? You're a rabbit. Come on, let's go. One of the reasons I have Pebble on the leash here is the rails right there. And I haven't exposed her to trains yet. I don't know what she's going to do. I guess I'm going to find out. Hopefully she won't want nothing to do with them. And once again, you guys, I try to say this in all my videos. If you see anything, something on the ground, anything that I miss in these videos, feel free to get a hold of me on my channel. A lot of people know my phone number. If you see anything that I miss, please get a hold of me and I'll come right back to the area. I've done it before and I'll do it again. There's one thing that's certain that's good about videos is thousands of eyes are certainly better than my two. And you guys, I know people have drove probably that fence line right there. There's a four-wheeler trail up there. I've seen motorcycle tracks up there. But I guarantee you, none of them got down and walked in here like this. And once again, all we can do is walk the probabilities that somebody's old water jug. Looks like it's been there a year or two. See how the top is knocked out of it. The plastic gets sun bleached and becomes brittle. So even though Pebbles here is a lot younger than Harper, Harper seems to be a lot more agile than she is. She'll get used to this though. This one's a strong dog, look at her. And she's Harper through and through. She was a save, and we got her when she was about probably 10 weeks old. And Harper raised that dog just like it was her own puppy. She never picked on her, always showed her the ropes. And I think, and she's almost 2 now, in the almost 2 years we've had her, I think those 2 dogs have only really been in one squabble where I scolded them. Harper's a good girl. She pretty much takes care of Pebbles like it's her baby. When it comes to food, if I put food down and it's good food, Pebbles is food aggressive. Harper, just look at her and give it to her. She knows that I'll always give her more food. She's pretty sharp like that. But the only way I'm going to get this one, like I've got Harper, is to take her out and to work her like this. If I wasn't near the tracks, I'd have her off the chain. They come back pretty good most of the time. Got to call them though, but they get excited when they get out here. And my main concern is I don't want them running after something and then not paying attention and be a couple of miles off before they realize, uh-oh, where's Dad? So a little bit at a time. A little bit at a time with Pebbles. And soon, hopefully, I'll be able to get both of them. One of my concerns when I bring both dogs is they're always in competition. So if I was to put them, for example, both on the leash in the city, one tries to stay ahead of the other and it becomes problematic for me. Let's see here. And you guys, this is the kind of stuff that I'm looking for, where you get down in a little gully like this. It's got a lot of sagebrush and tumbleweeds. My assumption is at this point that we're just missing him. And distance. The hard surface theory, you guys, still holds true. And all I can do is, like today, the weather is see where the mountains are, see all the clouds that are around them. So I can't search places up against the mountains. I wanted to go and hit some of the roads that are west of the 233 and Highway 30, but it's rain up against the mountains, so I know I can come down here in the lowlands. This is as low as it gets. We're almost to the salt flats, and walk these gullies that are close to the hard surface. The hard surface being the rail access road, which is right on the other side there. And when Lance and I searched this, we never walked these gullies right through here. We walked out further behind the dirt mounds and where the riprap started, which is the rocks that are about the size of softballs, baseballs, basketballs, stuff like that. And to my knowledge, you guys, that still needs to be searched. We're not professional searchers. I certainly am not, and I don't pretend to be. But I'm retired. I've got time, and a couple of times a month I have the money to do this. So it's what I'm going to do. And it's not for monetary gain. It's not for anything but closure. And not only closure, but a really good conviction upon the person that did it or people that helped do it. We're going to find that out soon, I'm sure. The trial is coming up in May, so we'll find out what the state knows and what they don't know. And unlike most people, I believe they have a lot more than what people think to convict the individual that did it, or the individual and people that might have helped or known after the fact. A lot of that is my own speculation, so don't take it as gospel. I've been wrong before, certainly, but I have my reasons for believing that. And once again, you guys, there's kind of a trail that runs right next to that fence line. And the grain, what you guys call the grain shed, it's a shed. It's back that way, I'd have to guess 7 or 8 miles. But Brenner could definitely see any activity that goes down this road from where he lived. He definitely had a hard surface up there. And it's definitely a direction where nobody's going to really see him. Trains go by, but they see people out on this thing, especially out further where the Newfoundland Island is. They come in from the I-80, and a lot of times they get on the rail and they go back to Ogden. So they're used to seeing people out here. I don't know if the engineers for that weekend were interviewed. I have no idea. But I'm going to walk this, and at least if we don't find anything, I know I've been here. So, and once again, you guys, I've been off this rail grade. I've always thought that this was probably it. Have I been wrong? Yes, I've been wrong many a times. That's for damn sure. And all of these people have gone in those, you guys, they really have. I watched Lance go through every single one of them. But what we didn't do was see like the sagebrush piles like this and remains tucked under a bunch of tumbleweeds and stuff, you guys. You wouldn't see it from the air. You wouldn't even see it from 20, 30 feet away. You have to get right up on it and look like this. And in the places where I come across ditches that have a lot of this in it, we're going to go through them, even if I got to pitchfork it and pull stuff out of the way with the pitchfork. A lot like looking under juniper trees real close and stuff when you're in the mountains. The mountains are still a lot snowy and muddy right now for searching a lot of those roads. There's another individual that went missing south of Wells in the Cherry Creek area, and we will not even only be searching for that individual there, but we're going to go to the homeless community in Salt Lake City. We went through the homeless community in Elko, Nevada, but the next two closest is Salt Lake City and Las Vegas. So the Salt Lake City homeless community, when we have appointments and stuff in Salt Lake for Phyllis, I will probably go down and start passing out handbills with that individual's face on there, and just start asking people if they've seen him over the last couple of years, because you never know. All avenues. And that's one of the toughest things about this case, is there's so many different options that could have happened, so many different variables, and all you can do is go with the most likely. Guys, I've changed boots. The lighter colored ones that I normally wear, I'll show you, I've worn them out. That's the second pair that I've worn out. Of course, when I first started with the first pair, they were about halfway gone anyway. But I found a place at Big 5 where they got a type of hiking boot that I really like. It's really soft, lightweight. I can feel the ground underneath me, but still have protection with the sole. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that's the truth of the matter. I can feel things through the sole, but they're still hard enough where my feet are really protected, even in sharp rocks and thorn stickers, thistle, all of the above. And what I'm thinking, you guys, is from what I see on this side, chances are the other side down in the ditch probably has a lot more tumbleweeds in it, just because of the way the prevailing wind is here. That side would catch more. A big old badger hole coming. So and we do come armed, you guys. Both of us come armed. People know where we're at before we go. I let people I know that we can trust, I tell them where I'm going before we go. And we have pretty good cell phone reception in this area, believe it or not. The towers are on those hills right over there, and it's a direct line of sight, so you got a lot of bars right in this area. And you guys, I'm probably not going to ever live stream a search like this, because if I ever found anything, it would be out there, and I would never do that to the family. I always do this video. I don't edit, I don't do anything. That's why you get a lot of wind noise with me. It's just what happens as it happens. But in a live stream, let's say you were to come across some remains while you were live streaming, that would be out there, and I wouldn't do that to any of the families. I would never do that. The hat in question on this particular case, Kelly Two Stroke found a hat, and the only person I sent the picture to was the subject's father. I didn't put it out on the internet. I didn't show anything because I don't know if it's evidence or not, and I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize the case. We called the sheriffs, they came and got it, did the proper chain of custody thing, and the search continues. That's what happened. People that say nothing was found, think what you want. Doesn't really matter to me. I'll put forth the effort and keep doing these type things. And anybody that wants to volunteer and you're a good human being, come on. Of course we could use the help, especially if you're an experienced searcher, if you're certified, even more so. I know the area, but I don't know all the techniques. So any of you that are listening to this or know somebody that is a certified searcher, or you know a group of people that are interested in coming and searching, like I've always said, a couple thousand eyes are better than my two, and even 10 sets of eyeballs are better than my two. I had to walk up on this. Yeah, there's nothing in there. But all of these little piles of tumbleweeds. Okay, let me see where I'm at. Okay, there's the pigeon station. That little box over there, the silver thing, will have Pigeon Road on the front of it. So I am 3 telephones past it. Yeah, all the old stations on this. Huh? Look at that. Look how old that is. Bungee cord's going with me, better than leaving it for waste out here. See? So I'm going to cross back over. I don't know if you guys can see the truck, but it's about, I'd say that's a half mile back. It's a dot. I better head back. And what we do is then we'll pull up that direction about another half mile. One individual will get out and walk this ditch back to this point. I will get out and walk the ditch a half a mile that way, jump across, and then walk back to the truck. And that way we're not deadheading back to the truck where we're not searching. I search my way back to the truck this way without wasting time and effort. Nothing worse than walking and then searching up one thing and then have to walk straight down the same trail again instead of another trail or another access point. So come on. See what I mean about these ditches? Okay, look, I'm gonna let you off. Come here. I'm gonna take you off. Heel up, come on. Come on, Peps. That's a good girl. Let's see if she'll do the Harper for me. Stick close with her nose to the ground. I can hear the power coming through that transformer up there. The wind's not too bad today, you guys. And if I've had some wind noise on the video, forgive me for that. But like I said, I don't edit. You get the raw video as I do it. Here, let's see if you guys can hear this. Raft River Electric. Those guys are out of Raft River, Idaho. That's in the American Falls area. For any of you guys that aren't familiar, southeast Idaho. They supply power to Montello, this area, and Pilot Valley. Wells Rural Electric Company provides power to Wells, Wendover, Carlin, a lot of points in between. But this area itself is a Raft River Co-op. And you guys, it may seem stupid, but every time I see anything like this, I'm going to check it. Anytime I see anything like that around here, I'm going to check it, of course. Come on, Pebs. Good girl. Come on. She's doing the Harper so far. Harper stayed home with Mom today. That's a good girl, Pebbles. She's getting a lot better shape, as you see. A little bit thicker than Harper. And a lot of that's the exercise factor. We've got a fenced, probably, I'm guessing, an acre, maybe an acre and a half fenced with a 5-foot chain link that she runs on. But this kind of exercise only comes with doing this. Everything's new and exciting, and she keeps moving, kind of like me. And you guys, you may think that you can see all this really good from up there on the road, but not so. I'm telling you that not paying attention even, you could walk right by something laying on the ground like remains in here. And that's part of the reason you see where I stop and take my time walking and everything. So, and all that area along the base of that mountain, the big rocks you see and stuff. Kelly Two-Stroke and Brendan and I, like I said, we took a weekend. They had their truck and their side by side, and we searched that. The bottom part's pretty hard, but on the north end out that way, there's some gullies and stuff that kind of go off towards the salt flats, and they probably need to be walked. It's a beautiful day today. Part of the reason we came today, which is Friday, is I believe we have weather coming back in over the weekend. And today was supposed to be 50 and cloudy here. So perfect searching weather. We don't want to get caught in heavy rain, especially if you're out in that stuff. But a lot of the hard packed roads out here, you're fine when it's raining. And that's part of the reason we're here. It's when we go off to any of the roads that go off that way that aren't as packed as what this hard surface is here. That's where we got to watch out. There's kind of a person out there, you guys, I'm not going to give her name, but her handle on the internet is Red Rose, not Original Irish Rose. This is a lady called Red Rose. And I want to apologize to her. I said some things to her because of a political opinion that I probably shouldn't have said. I shouldn't have said it. And I've tried to call her to apologize. She's probably pretty mad at me. So, Red Rose, if you're out there and you're watching this video, I apologize for those things. I should be able to maintain my political opinion and still be okay with somebody else's, even if it's the exact polar opposite. And for those reasons, I apologize, Red Rose. And if you hear this and you accept my apology, call us anytime. You have wisdom concerning YouTube that I should have listened to. And there's a few of them out there, you guys. I should have listened to them. But I was new, and I guess I had to find out for myself. Especially concerning Doug Hutton. And that's probably true for a lot of people that were new to YouTube, including the parents in this case. I'm sure that they learned a lot of things from YouTubers the hard way, like I had to. One of the things that I holding to concerning this case, you guys, is I'm not going to take sides. I like a lot of people, especially a lot of people on YouTube. But there are some nefarious actors out there, and they do a lot of mean things, and I'm not going to name names. And it doesn't help. This is what helps right here. So instead of being angry at the individual, I'm just going to do this. There's another individual that I know a lot of people, you don't like him, but him and I have an agreement, and I'll stick to it because I'm a man of my word. But he still gets calls concerning this case, And any leads that he gets that I can actually check that seem legitimate to me, I go do it. And I think we tolerate each other because this needs to be done. In some ways I like him, in some ways I hate him. But that's just the way it is. And I'm sure he feels the same fucking way about me. So, but whatever it takes, that's where I'm at. And that's where I've been since day one. Truck looks like it's about a quarter mile off now. So you guys, these humps that we see, and you'll see these as we've been videoing, you've probably seen them before. But these humps were what was called a square tapered pole. They were made out of redwood. They were buried here and went vertical straight up. And if you've seen videos of my greenhouse, the main frame was made out of a bunch of these poles. And what happened is sometime, I believe, in the early 1900s, I don't know the exact year, they pulled these out, put in those kind of poles, and those have probably been replaced a few times, but the square ones are all over the Montello, Pilot Valley, and Lucin area. And what they did was just cut them down, pushed them over, and buried the stuff right here next to the tracks. Pebs, come. Come, girl. Come on. He's being a good dog, see? That's good, girl. Come on. Stick with me. We're next to the railroad tracks. You stay with me. I think in the long run, Pebbles will be just as good as a dog as Harper. That's hard to say, but I think it's going to take a lot of exposure. And you guys, that's what it takes, is work with the dog all the time. Exposure. You have to expose them to everything so they know what's up. I see old side-by-side tracks right here. That's not a four-wheeler, that's not a truck, that's side-by-side. So somebody drove a side-by-side down in here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but see, that's one of the tracks. That's another one. They're faded. What I told you guys about when you drive in the mud out here, it'll leave tracks forever. This is what I'm talking about. That's one of the reasons I say the hard surface theory. I mean, look, these are probably at least from last year, or not older. And you can see the cracked clay, but I can still clearly see the tracks, and I can see that it's a side-by-side. I'm still gonna work this whole thing out to the truck. I don't care if the side-by-side's been down in here or not. Hear the power. I'll get next to the pole, listen to this. Pep, come. Come, girl, come on. Here's another one of those pole mounds. But and you guys, I've done a lot of self-studying on this and a lot of help from a certain individual. And see this green grass here? Let's say there was remains buried shallow right here with all the moisture in the dirt, see? There's quite a bit of moisture, see the darkness in it. We would have a good patch of grass there that's nice and green. So anything like that, you guys, that's anything out of the ordinary. And like I said, I am not by any standard even certified for search, and definitely would never even make the rescue thing. But I can volunteer to do exactly this right here. Oh, I can feel a little bit of rain, see? I am not worried because I know that that road right there, I can get back to anywhere I need to go as long as I take it easy. I've been on it many times. Oh, stop. See what I mean about her being protective? Now she's wagging her tail. You're in danger of being licked to death. Pebs, come. Come, girl. No. Pebbles, come. Pebbles, come. Come here. Here, would you throw a leash on her? Since you're up there near the tracks, I'll walk this back to the... He has the leash on him? There you go. Oh, there he is. Come on, boy. You put a leash on her, I'll keep him with me. Come on. Sven, come here. Come here. Hey, Sven. He is a spaz. Well, I guess he wants to stay with you. I'm going to finish walking this back to the truck because I want to look in this riprap just in case. And you want to move up and do another mile? Okay. I went 3 poles past that pigeon station marker up there. So that's where, if you walk back, that's only where you got to walk back to. Remember what I told you guys about the square pole mounds that are down here? Where the old telegraph or whatever they were using. Here's one right there. I'll walk probably half the distance between those 2 poles and I'll find another one of these mounds. And then they just pushed them over. And there's a type of insulator that's worth quite a bit of money. But I'm not letting you in on that secret. And from what I understand, they don't want people out here digging anyway that I believe it's against the law. So, and even if you are digging and you don't know what you're doing, you're probably going to break the insulator. Come on, Sven. See how he goes through these rocks? He's looking for mice, rats, anything he can find, which I'm okay with. As you get out the rail grade further, the whole thing is built on riprap like this, these stones. And I've always thought that it would be easy to hide remains under those stones without a whole lot of work. And that's always been one of my theories about this. Okay, this is just a spot where it's been trying to wash from water overflow. Remember I said I'd come across another square. There's a better look at the square poles. Probably halfway down you'll see another mound. It was for the same thing. And these mounds, you guys, they're a possibility. They certainly are. That's why I stop and look at each one. Packing the 243 today. My shoulder's definitely not used to it. I've been packing the pistol all the other times, but when I get out here in this wide open area, the rifle is much better to carry. Much better. This is why I check all these. Chances are if somebody was buried on this, it would sink. You'd see where it would sink down from the settling. You can dig a hole here, you guys, plant a railroad tie vertically, and you guys know the size of a railroad tie, and then start putting the dirt back in the hole, and you'll still need more dirt. You have to pack it, tamp it. That's a good piece of plate steel. I'm going to throw it up on the road. No, I better leave it. It belongs to the railroad. I don't want to pick stuff up. Tempting, but I'll leave it. It is railroad property. It was probably an old sign. So I respect the fact that I'm out here. I'll respect their rules 100%. I almost picked it up till I thought about it. So there's another mound. There's the square hole that you can see. Left from years and years ago, you guys. These were knocked down, I'll bet, in the 20s. And as you can see, the depression is still there. That's why I'm telling you that more than likely would see a depression like that. Any of you wondering, those are my old tracks where we came down off this fence line. Come on, Sven. The wind's starting to blow a little. All right, I'm almost back to the truck. I'm going to sign off. Thanks for watching.